Chalo, we were discussing ancient Indian history, which has got totally 8 chapters. The first chapter, prehistoric cultures, we did complete. The second chapter, Indus Valley civilization, right? So we were discussing Indus Valley civilization. Under the tag called Indus Valley civilization, 2500 BC to 1750 BC. So these are the topics to be learned, and we did complete the first half a dozen topics, including major sites. As I was telling, I might have instructed you people write the so-called PDF, what we call content in notebook, so that entire information be in one notebook. Now start with characteristic features of civilization. So under characteristic features of civilization, we are going to learn town planning, nagara nirmanam antam telugulo, town planning. Once we done with town planning, social conditions, followed by economic conditions, politico-administrative structure, followed by religious conditions, and finally decline. I might have instructed you people have the habit of understanding the significance of the topics. First topics until major science important only for, don't spend much time. Prelims antene don't spend much time. Concept arthamainda, fantastic. Factual information outcome solve chadandi అయిపోయింది. The moment you talk about mains అన్నప్పుడు you have to spend time. Besides conceptual clarity, writing, work on this, right? Now come to have subheading, that is town planning. Nagara nirmanam antam, town planning. In order to understand the town planning of the civilization which flourished between 2500 BC to 1750 BC, or in 3rd millennium BC, we found 4 contemporary civilizations. That is like, Egyptian civilization, followed by Mesopotamian civilization, followed by Indus Valley civilization, followed by Chinese civilization, right? When we compared with 4 civilizations, the most sophisticated engineering techniques employed by Indus people. If someone counters me, ante మనం ఇండియా కాబట్టి ఇండస్ వ్యాలీ సివిలైజేషన్ కాబట్టి లేపుతున్నావా సార్, మళ్ళీ అక్కడ కూడా ఒక లాట్ ఆఫ్ హిస్టరీ సార్ ఉంటాడు కదా, ఆయన కూడా లేపుతాడు అంటే, నో. అవుట్ ఆఫ్ 4 కాంటెంపరీ సివిలైజేషన్స్, ద మోస్ట్ ప్రామినెంట్, ద మోస్ట్ సోఫిస్టికేటెడ్ इंजीनियरिंग टेक्निक्स वर यूज्ड बाय इंडस वैली. इसका मतलब ये नहीं द अदर सिविलाइजेशंस वर रूरल इन नेचर. नो, सिविलाइजेशन का मतलब ही होता है अर्बन सेंटर्स. बट compared with urban centers, other contemporary civilizations, Indus Valley people used sophisticated engineering technology. Enti sophisticated engineering technology annappudu, so you can write down, that is division of towns. Division of towns. So town planning of IVC be understood by focusing on 4 elements. The first element, that is division of towns. Well, division of towns lo bhanga, we can write down by using this. Every town demarcated into 2 parts and rasko. Every town demarcated into 2 parts. 2 parts. Even draw this particular image. Western towns and eastern towns. Western towns and eastern towns. Western towns can also be called as upper towns. అర్థం చేసుకుంటూ రాసుకోవాలి, చాలా ఈజీ. Western towns can also be called as upper towns. Eastern towns can also be called as lower towns. Eastern towns can also be called as lower towns. Why Western towns can also be called as upper towns అన్నప్పుడు అక్కడ కొన్ని ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ రాసుకోండి, రీజన్స్ రాసుకోండి. బికాస్ దే వర్ బిల్ట్ ఆన్ హై ప్లాట్ఫామ్. They were built on high platform. One of the reasons why western towns can also be called as upper towns, one of the reasons they were built on high platform. Another reason, the presence of citadel. The presence of citadel. They are built on high platform and the presence of citadel. Citadel, kota antam telugulo, fortification antam. Unlike Khansar forts, వెళ్ళాం ఒక చిన్నది, రైట్. సేమ్ మనం చాల్కుతి కల్చర్స్లో మనం రాసుకున్నప్పుడు ఫ్యూ సైట్స్ ఇన్ సెంట్రల్ ఇండియా, నవడటోలి, ఇరాన్ అక్కడ రాసుకున్నాం, రైట్. హ్యావ్ ద హ్యాబిట్ ఆఫ్ రీడింగ్ అండ్ అటెండింగ్ ద క్లాసెస్. ఫోర్టిఫికేషన్స్ అని రాసుకున్నాం, సేమ్ సిటడెల్ అంటాం. I repeat, why western towns are the houses on western structures were called as upper towns because of these two reasons. Because they were built on high platform. High platform का मतलब क्या होता है? For example, to make you understand, compared with you people, I'm standing on high platform, elevated position. Then the same western towns or western structures were surrounded by citadels. Look at the board. Citadels. Some sort of walls. Then how about eastern towns? How about eastern towns? No high platform, no citadel, that's it. No high platform, no citadel. Chalo, before going the details, first let me give have subheading the exceptions and raskondi. Exceptions. Even we might have referred as part of major sites lo bhanga lekno konni exceptions. ikkada manam konni points add chesam. Exceptions. Exception का मतलब क्या होता है? Exception. Good. First దీన్ని మెయింటైన్ చేయండి. Exception का मतलब ये होता है when we follow some pattern, few settlements did not follow the same pattern. Such kind of settlements be given the tag called exception. Right? Now start with, that is Chanhudaro. Chanhudaro. Chanhudaro, which comes in Sindh province of Pakistan. Chanhudaro ku chinna hyphen తీసుకోండి. Lacks citadel even on western towns. Lacks citadel even on western towns. Chanhudaro lacks citadel even on western towns. One more exception. Lothal and Kalibangan. Lothal, Gujarat, and Kalibangan, Rajasthan. Lothal and Kalibangan. Kachina hyphen తీసుకోండి. Even lower towns also have citadel. Even lower towns also have citadel. Even lower towns also has citadel. One more example. Dholavira. Dholavira. Question hyphen తీసుకోండి. It has got 3 towns. In the previous session we have learned. Dholavira, which comes in Gujarat, it has got 3 towns. Yes, Dholavira has got 3 towns. That is western towns, eastern towns, middle town. Upper town, middle town, and lower town. Dholavira has got 3 towns. Right. So these are the exceptions now. I repeat, we are discussing town plan of Indus Valley civilization. One of the cardinal elements of town planning, that is revision of towns. Though we found unique pro forma throughout towns and cities of Indus Valley civilization, on few occasions we found exceptions. For example, Chanhudaro lacks citadel. Lothal and Kalibangan, where lower towns were also fortified. And one more, Dholavira, which has got 3 towns. That is upper town, middle town, and lower town. It's all about it. Now let me pose the question. Why why high platform and citadels found in eastern, I'm sorry, why did we find high platform and citadels in western towns? What is the reason? Why did they go for high platform and citadels? Number one. Number two, why didn't we find these two elements in eastern towns? First question, why did the people who live on western towns built their houses on high platform and citadel, and why didn't we find such kind of elements on eastern towns, including online students? కొంచెం గట్టిగా చెప్పనా? Good. So what you're trying to convey us to protect themselves from floods. Logic. और कुछ है? Now आपका नंबर खत्म हो गया. Let others also speak. The voice of the voiceless. To escape from the animals, to protect themselves from wild animals. So thereby, like, they might have built high platform and citadels. Okay. और कुछ है? చెప్పండి. Okay, compared with eastern people, the people who lived on west might have rich. Okay. Good logic. Now look at the board. When I say the people who lived on western side of a village, according to one famous, though it's a hypothesis, one famous hypothesis, the people who lived on western structures or western side of a town were rich when we compared with eastern side. ఏ విధంగా? We have learnt in the previous session, so far 1400 plus sites discovered, except Dholavira, which did not locate on the banks of river. The remaining sites located on the banks of rivers. Since the respective sites located on the banks of rivers, at any point of time, the respective rivers may get huge water. It causes destruction. Floods cause destruction, right? In order to protect themselves from ferocious rivers, they built their houses on elevated position, high platform, and the respective structures were built citadels. Then you can counter me, then what happened to eastern people? They are poor people. Then someone asks the question, did you find script? Answer is yes, but unfortunately not deciphered. మళ్ళీ స్క్రిప్ట్ ఉందని చెప్తున్నారు, అర్థం కావట్లేదని చెప్తున్నారు. మళ్ళీ వెస్టర్న్ సైడ్ ఏమో రిచ్ పీపుల్, ఈస్టర్న్ సైడ్ ఏమో పూర్ పీపుల్ అంటున్నారు. బికాస్ ఆర్కియలాజికల్ ఫైండింగ్స్ మేడ్ అస్ టు బిలీవ్ దట్ వెస్టర్న్ రిచ్ పీపుల్ మైట్ హ్యావ్ లివ్డ్ ఆన్ వెస్టర్న్ సైడ్, వెరస్ కామన్ పీపుల్ మైట్ హ్యావ్ లివ్డ్ ఆన్ ఈస్టర్న్ సైడ్. That's it. Now let me tell you, knowingly or unknowingly, even today we follow the same pattern. What? The pattern of Indus Valley. Whenever you observe in villages, high caste people live on western side, low caste people live on eastern side. Don't counter me. మా ఊర్లో ఆపోజిట్ ఉంది, నేను మీ ఊరు గురించి చెప్పట్లేదు. మీ ఊర్లో ఆపోజిట్ ఉంటే అది ఎక్సెప్షన్ అవుతుంది. ఇన్ జనరల్, high caste people live on western side of a village, low caste people live on eastern side of a village. Forget about villages. Take an example of Hyderabad. Your wealthy sections of society in Hyderabad, they live on hills. Banjara Hills, Jubilee Hills, Gachibowli, Nanakramguda. ఏమైనా కండక్టర్ పని చేసావు సార్, ఇవి తగ్గించుకోమని చెప్పేది అన్నమాట. దెన్ హౌ అబౌట్ కామన్ పీపుల్? ఈ లోటపీస్ అశోక్ నగర్, గాంధీనగర్, ఆర్టీసీ క్రాస్ రోడ్స్, ఈ దోమలగూడ, దోమలజంపూడ, ఈ బ్యాచ్ అనమాట. ఇఫ్ సంథింగ్ హ్యాపెన్స్, వాట్ న్యాచురల్ కెలామిటీస్, ఫ్లడ్స్ కానివ్వండి, తర్వాత మనకు ఎర్త్ కేక్ కానివ్వండి, ద మోస్ట్ విక్టిమ్స్ హ్యాపెన్ టు బి కామన్ పీపుల్, ఆర్ లైక్ సే ద పీపుల్ హూ లివ్ ఆన్ ఈస్ట్ అంటాం. How many of you from Hyderabad? In 2018, we found a massive floods in Hyderabad. Who are the victims? Not hilly people, common people. Who are the most victims of floods in Hyderabad in 2018? 2018 lo chaya floods Hyderabad lo. Dadap 1 week Hyderabad was in water. Right? Who are the worst victims? Common people. Then how about rich people? They were watching TV9. రే జూమ్ చేయనని చెప్తాడు, ఆయన జూమ్ చేస్తాడు, ఆయన మెల్లగా పాప్కార్న్ తినుకుంటా కూర్చుంటాడు, హే బా కార్లు పోతున్నాయి, బాగా పోన్లే అని చెప్తాడు. సో దీన్ని మనం చాలా పాష్గా వి జనరల్ డిస్కస్ ఎస్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆప్షనల్ హిస్టరీ కల్చరల్ కంటిన్యూటీ అంటాం. వాట్ ఎవర్ ది కల్చర్ వీ మైట్ హ్యావ్ ఫౌండ్ in ancient ages, the same culture, the same traditions that are being continued in India. El Bhasham, the author of the wonder that was India, I name today. There are 2 countries in the world where we found cultural continuity. One is China, second one is India. Right? It's all about that is division of towns. Second one, underground drainage system. Right? Second, start with underground drainage system. UGDS, underground drainage system. As far as underground drainage system is concerned, oka chinna line raskondi. The people followed well organized drainage system. The people followed well organized drainage system. Continuation. A small drain led to the main drain. A small drain led to the main drain, which further led to the river valley. మంచి కట్లు బాట్లు, which further led to the river valley. I repeat, a small drain led to the main drain, which further led to the river valley. మళ్ళీ ఏం చేస్తారు? ఈవెన్ టుడే వి ఫాలో దిస్ నోబుల్ ట్రెడిషన్, మొత్తం కలిపి నదిలో కొడతారు అనమాట. అండ్ ద సేమ్ పీపుల్, వి ద పీపుల్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా, రైట్, go to the rivers and have sacred dips. Right? A Ganga hai, entire industries of UP, entire Gandagi of UP, I suppose not to say, come to the Ganga. Right? Best example was Yasagar. Tank Band. What is this tank band? Gandagi of Hyderabad. Right? Underground drainage system. Right? Chalo, one more line you can write down under UGDS. Even manholes also provided for regular checkups. When it comes to division of towns, కొన్ని మనము ఎక్సెప్షన్స్ రాసుకున్నాము, అట్లీస్ట్ ఒక 4 sites ఎక్సెప్షన్ రాసుకున్నాము. నా కమ్ టు యూజీడిఎస్, అండర్ గ్రౌండ్ డ్రైనేజ్ సిస్టమ్ దగ్గర ఎక్సెప్షన్ రాసుకోండి, ఒక చిన్న హైఫన్, బనవాలి అని రాసుకోండి. బన్వాలి, BANAWALI, బన్వాలి, ఒక చిన్న హైఫన్ తీసుకోండి. లాక్స్ యూజీడిఎస్, బన్వాలి లాక్స్ అండర్ గ్రౌండ్ డ్రైనేజ్ సిస్టమ్. బన్వాలి లుక్స్ లైక్ హైదరాబాద్. ఓకే, Abhiram, right? Because in Hyderabad, the underground drainage system, I mean, the drain water not goes inside, but samazar ki shara kafi hai. Okay, next, third one, Grid pattern system. Third one, grid pattern system. Grid pattern system. What is chapter? Grid pattern. Grid pattern system. You also understand in this way, chessboard pattern. Chessboard pattern system. Grid का मतलब क्या होता है? Box. और चैप्टर ना? Yes. Grid is an element. The length and the breadth of the monument would be equal. For example, Taj Mahal. When you look at Taj Mahal, from the top, it looks like a grid. It looks like a grid. After the same pattern, followed by Indus people antam. Grid pattern system antam. Okay, line raskondi. The structures were built in such a way that they look like chessboard from aerial view. They look like chessboard from aerial view. They look like chessboard from aerial view. One more line. Besides, the towns possess vast streets. Besides, the towns possess vast streets with wider roads. Vast streets with wider roads. And finally, uniformity in bricks and rasko. Which one? Grid, no exception. Uniformity in using bricks and rasko. Uniformity in using bricks. As far as bricks are concerned, we have learned in the previous sessions, whenever you come across construction with bricks, which indicates technology, when it comes to bricks, we have Indus people used two types of bricks antam. Chala mandiki idea undochu. One is sun-dried bricks, followed by burnt bricks. Can anyone? What is the difference between sun-dried bricks and burnt bricks? Okay.
And burning is like they'll put in around a between of a fire.
I got it. और कुछ है? Difference between sun-dried bricks and burnt bricks చెప్పండి ना? ఎక్కడ? Good. The major difference between burnt bricks and sun-dried bricks, compared with sun-dried bricks, burnt bricks are extremely mazboot, strength ఉంటుంది. Now come to ఈ burnt bricks ఏవైతున్నాయో, the people used burnt bricks ఎక్కడైతే water constructions ఉన్నాయో, for example Lothal, which we have learned in the previous session, Port Town, Great Granary, Great Bath, ఇలాంటి దగ్గర burnt bricks యూజ్ చేయడం జరిగింది. చాలా నాన్ వాటర్ లాగింగ్ ఏరియాస్ లో sun-dried bricks యూజ్ చేయడం జరిగింది. అండ్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ది ఫేమస్ ఏరియాస్ ఫర్ ప్రిలిమ్స్ ఎగ్జామ్ రేషియో అడిగాడు అన్న, 4:2:1 అనే రేషియోని అడిగాడు. రైట్, ఒక లైన్ రాసుకోండి. ఆల్ ది స్ట్రక్చర్స్ బ్రాకెట్లో మీకు ఐడి ఉండడానికి బోత్ ప్రైవేట్ అండ్ పబ్లిక్ అని రాసుకోండి. All the structures were constructed with either sun-dried bricks or burnt bricks. Continuation. Harappan bricks consistently followed consistently followed a strict 4:2:1 ratio. 4:2:1 ratio. మీకు అడగడానికి 4:2:1 దగ్గర లెంత్, బ్రెడ్త్ అండ్ థిక్నెస్ అని రాసుకోండి. లెంత్, బ్రెడ్త్ అండ్ థిక్నెస్. Chalo, with this background, write on the statement of R.S. Sharma, Ram Sharan Sharma. Start within commas. The statement of Ram Sharan Sharma, while you're writing an answer, town planning, one of the famous areas for general studies mains and even prelims, right? While you're writing general studies mains, like descriptive, have the habit of inserting such kind of quotations or statements of scholars so that you'll be given good marks. Write on the statement of R.S. Sharma, start within commas. Perhaps no other civilization has given such importance to cleanliness and healthiness. I repeat, perhaps no other civilization has given such importance to cleanliness and healthiness. So this is Dholavira, which comes in Gujarat. Chimran. Town planning is a part of architecture. Yes, which I'll be going to speak once we're done with traditional topics. Indus art lo మనం discuss చేస్తాం. Architecture is different. Indus Valley town planning is different. ఎందుకనే మనం డిస్కస్ చేస్తాం. Now come to second one. Society of Harappans. Society of Harappans. Chalo. So whenever you study society, first సొసైటీని ఏ విధంగా అప్రోచ్ కావాలి అనే దాని మీద ఫోకస్ చేయండి. దెన్ యూ కెన్ ఈజీలీ అండర్స్టాండ్. సమాజాన్ని ఏ విధంగా అర్థం చేసుకోవాలి, హౌ సొసైటీ టు బి అండర్స్టూడ్ అన్నప్పుడు 2 areas మీద ఫోకస్ చేయాలి. ఐ రిపీట్, సొసైటీ టు బి అండర్స్టూడ్ విత్ 2 areas. ద ఫస్ట్ ఏరియా సోషల్ స్ట్రాటిఫికేషన్. In Telugu we call it samajika vibhajana or samajika vargीकरण, social stratification or social classification. Once you done with social stratification, second element happen to be position of women. For example, asal enti social stratification annappudu respective societies got classified on some criteria. For example, few societies got classified on the basis of race, few societies on the basis of caste, few societies on the basis of class, few societies on the basis of color, few societies on the basis of ethnicity. It can be anything, right? But classification is inevitable. Take an example of Hindu society. Hindu society got classified on the basis of caste, which I'll be going to speak as part of Vedic civilization. Brahmin, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. Caste was a criteria for Hindu society. By the time we go to medieval India, that is Muslim society got classified on the basis of race. Turkish race, Afghan race, Sheikhazadas and Habshis. By the time you go to European societies got classified on the basis of class, rich and poor. When you go to American societies, they also got classified on the basis of color, whites and blacks. And whenever you travel to tribal societies, they have their own classification, ethnicity. If someone asks a question, who is responsible for social classification or social stratification? అసలు సమాజాన్ని ఈ విధంగా వర్గీకరించాలి, ఈ ప్రాతిపదిక మీద వర్గీకరించాలి, అసలు ఏంటి కాన్సెప్ట్ ఏంటి, ఎక్కడి నుంచి మనం నేర్చుకున్నాం అన్నప్పుడు ఆబ్వియస్లీ ఫ్రమ్ సోషియాలజీ, సోషియలాజికల్ కాన్సెప్ట్, సోషల్ స్ట్రాటిఫికేషన్ అంటాం. Now the question is, who was responsible for classification? Forget about sociology for some time. Who was responsible for classification annappudu, look at the board. If I draw, there are 4 lines. If I draw, there are 4 lines, and if I ask A, B, C, D, if I ask which line is bigger, all are equal, right? Now if I draw, if I ask now which line is bigger, A feels happy. This bloody feeling ఏదైతే ఉందో, which is responsible for classification. క్లాస్లో ఒక 50 మంది ఉన్నారు, ఒక ఆయన్ని సార్ డైలీ వెరీ గుడ్, ఫెంటాస్టిక్, యూ తోపు తురుముఖానంటే ఆయన మెల్లగా లేపుతాడు అనమాట. This is responsible. So ఈ ఫీలింగ్ ఏదైతే ఉందో, which was responsible for social stratification or social classification. If someone asks a question, can't we imagine society without stratification? The answer is big no. Social stratification is inevitable in any society, right? So once we're done with social stratification, we have to understand what kind of position the respective women were given by their men. Generally, we use the term called 2 elements, that is patriarchal and matriarchal. Can you know what is this patriarchal society or patriarchal family, including online students? Patriarchal का मतलब क्या होता है? Patriarchal का मतलब क्या होता है? मेल डोमिनेटेड. मैट्रियार्कल फीमेल डोमिनेटेड. और कुछ है? द लीडर ऑफ द, गुड, चलो. सो पैट्री इज लैटिन टर्म, इंग्लिश वर्जन मेल. मैट्री इज लैटिन टर्म, इंग्लिश वर्जन फीमेल. नाउ विथ दिस बैकग्राउंड यू अंडरस्टैंड, ఇక్కడ మెయింటైన్ క్లారిటీ. If someone asks the question, what does it mean by patriarchal? Don't say male dominated society. Mali you say what we supposed to say. Nenu chestanu, right? If someone asks the question, what does it mean by patriarchal society or patriarchal family, you supposed to speak patriarchal family where senior male member is a head. Patriarchal family, patriarchal society. Patriarchal family or patriarchal society where head of the family or head of the society happen to be senior male member. It can be grandfather, it can be father, it can be bro, Sai Dharam Tej. That's it. Then how about matriarchal? Simple, senior female member, maybe grandmother, maybe mother, maybe peda sister. Pottu pottu kodtadu kada. ఓకే, అంటే పెద్ద సిస్టర్ అంటే ఇవన్నీ తెలుస్తాను. మేమే పెద్ద అంటే మీరు కొడుతుంటారు అంతే, మామూలు కాదు, కింద పడేసి కొడతారు అనమాట. ఓకే, చలో. సో ప్యాట్రియార్కల్, మ్యాట్రియార్కల్. నౌ విత్ దిస్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ కమ్ టు ఇండియన్ సొసైటీ. We gave a new definition to patriarchal, matriarchal. As you said is correct. What? Domination of men over women, patriarchal society. Domination of women on men, matriarchal society. That's it. Now with this background, come to Indus Valley society. According to Sir John Marshall, he says Indus society was matriarchal. A pratipadika meeda. Sir John Marshall, like the gentleman who was responsible for excavations of Indus Valley sites, Harappa ganivandi, Mohenjo-daro ganivandi, because under his guidance Archaeological Survey of India excavated. He says during excavations for about 500 plus mother goddesses discovered. మతంలో అంటే ఆయన ఏమంటాడంటే సిన్స్ రిలీజియన్ వాజ్ డామినేటెడ్ బై వాట్ వి కాల్ సే మదర్ గాడెసెస్, డెఫినెట్లీ సొసైటీ ఆల్సో డామినేటెడ్ బై విమెన్. ఇట్ వాజ్ అన్ ప్యూర్లీ ఒపీనియన్ ఆఫ్. Now come to social stratification అన్నప్పుడు, if someone asks a question, what is the criteria based on which Indus society got classified అన్నప్పుడు, no second thought, on the basis of class. ఏ ప్రాతిపదిక మీద క్లాస్ బేస్డ్ సొసైటీ అని చెప్పాలి? టౌన్ ప్లానింగ్. రిచ్ పీపుల్ యూస్ టు లివ్ ఆన్ వెస్టర్న్ టౌన్స్, పూర్ పీపుల్ యూస్ టు లివ్ ఆన్ ఈస్టర్న్ టౌన్స్. సో క్లాస్ బేస్డ్. క్యాస్ట్ ఈస్ అన్ ఎట్ టు కమ్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ అంటాం, రైట్? ఒక లైన్ రాసుకోండి. It was a, Indus society or Harappan society, it was a class-based society. It was a class-based society. Continuation. The town planning forced scholars to opine. The town planning forced scholars to opine. Next line. Sarjan Marshall considers that it was a matriarchal. Sarjan Marshall considers that it was a matriarchal society. It was a matriarchal society. ఈ matriarchal దగ్గరకు చిన్న లైన్ రాసుకోండి. During excavations, many female figurines discovered. Female figurines are mother goddess, both are same. During excavations, many female figurines discovered.